You know that feeling when a few nights in a Tokyo hotel just won't cut it? But the idea of navigating a traditional rental agreement feels like, well, climbing Mount Fuji in flip-flops.
Oh, absolutely. There's this whole in-between zone, right? And it can be a real puzzle to solve sometimes.
It really can.
And that's where the concept of service departments really shines. They offer a smart and often kind of overlooked solution for those extended stays.
Exactly. So today we're diving deep into the world of service departments in Tokyo.
Sounds good.
And to guide us, we're drawing on the extensive experience of moveandstay.com.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, for over 25 years, they've been right there in Asia, helping everyone from business travelers to long-term expats find their perfect temporary homes.
Yeah, that's a lot of experience on the ground. They really understand the nuances of the market there.
Totally. So think of this as your insider's guide. We want to help you figure out if a service apartment is the key to unlocking your ideal Tokyo experience, whether you're there for like a crucial work project or just a really in-depth cultural immersion.
Our goal really is to cut through the noise. We want to give you the essential understanding of what service departments offer, their key features, and how they can genuinely simplify your life when you're in Tokyo for more than just a quick visit.
Right. We want you to finish this discussion with a clear sense of whether this option actually aligns with your specific needs.
Makes sense for your situation, yeah.
So let's get right to it. Why would someone choose a service department in Tokyo over, say, a standard hotel or maybe a more traditional long-term rental?
Right.
What's the real draw here?
Well, the core appeal lies in that sweet spot we mentioned. Hotels are great for short stays, obviously, lots of convenience, but they often lack space, and you can't really settle in, can you?
No, living out of a suitcase gets old fast.
Exactly. Imagine trying to manage a multi-week business trip, just relying on restaurants for every meal.
Yeah, not ideal.
And then on the other hand, you've got traditional rentals in Tokyo. They often come with complicated long-term leases. You've got to set up utilities, furnish the whole place.
That's a massive undertaking for a temporary stay.
It really is. So service apartments, they just elegantly bridge that gap.
Okay. And Tokyo is, well, it's massive, it sprawls. Where are these service departments typically located? Does that make getting around any easier?
Absolutely. That's a huge advantage of their location. They're frequently in really prime spots.
Uh-huh.
Think about it. If you're a business traveler, being near key districts like Shinjuku or Morinuchi is, well, invaluable.
Right. Cuts down commute time.
Definitely. And if you're keen to explore the sites, maybe Shibuya Crossing or the temples in Asakusa, having easy access saves you so much time and hassle.
Uh-huh.
And crucially, drawing on that moveandstay.com experience again, they highlight that many apartments are strategically placed near Tokyo's incredible public transport network.
Ah, the trains and subways.
Exactly. So you're not just getting a comfy place to stay, you're getting a really well-connected base to navigate the whole city from.
That makes perfect sense. Location really can dictate your whole experience, can it?
It really can.
Now, what if your plans are a bit up in the air? How flexible are the stay options? Are we talking weeks, months?
This is another major draw for a lot of people. Unlike those traditional leases that often lock you in for a year or more.
Yeah, the minimum contracts.
Right. Service apartments offer a remarkable degree of flexibility. You can typically find options ranging from just a few nights, actually up to several months, sometimes even longer.
Okay, so quite a range.
Yeah, this adaptability is ideal for so many situations. Business folks on projects, expats relocating temporarily before finding something permanent,
Or even just a long holiday, right?
or even, yeah, an extended immersive holiday where you want those comforts of home. It really caters to those transitional periods.
Okay, so you arrive at your service department. It's clearly not just a bed and a bathroom like a hotel.
Yeah.
What kind of facilities can you generally expect to find waiting for you?
Yeah, think of it more like stepping into a fully furnished and equipped home, pretty much ready for you to start living. So they almost always include comprehensive facilities. You get a furnished living area, of course, but a key difference is the kitchen. A full kitchen.
Okay, what does full usually mean in this context?
We're talking a hob, a microwave, a refrigerator, and often, especially in Japan, things like a rice cooker, maybe a coffee maker.
Oh, a rice cooker. That's handy.
Definitely. And naturally, all the necessary cookware, plates, bowls, cutlery, that sort of thing is typically provided.
That's a real game changer, isn't it?
Mhm.
Compared to hotel living. Control your diet, save some money maybe.
Absolutely. It's a world away from relying on takeout every single night.
Yeah. What else contributes to that feeling of being, settled in?
Laundry facilities, that's another big one, especially for longer stays.
Ah, good point. In the apartment itself.
Usually, yes. Most will include a washing machine right in the unit. Sometimes you might even get lucky with a combined washer-dryer.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, saves space and time. And often they understand their guests might not read Japanese, so they'll include English manuals for the appliances.
That's thoughtful.
It really is. You might even find a little starter pack of laundry detergent. Those small touches make a difference. And of course, high-speed Wi-Fi is pretty much standard now. Essential.
Absolutely essential, yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any, like, extra perks or services that some places might offer beyond the basics?
Yes, definitely. Depending on the specific building and maybe the price point, you might find a range of other amenities.
Like what?
Things like on-site fitness centers or gyms, swimming pools sometimes,
Mm.
and a bilingual front desk service can be incredibly helpful.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Especially if your Japanese isn't quite up to scratch.
Exactly. They can help with local recommendations, sorting out any apartment issues, that sort of thing.
This all sounds really appealing, but, okay, let's talk brass tacks.
Hmm.
The cost. What can someone actually expect to pay for this kind of setup in Tokyo?
Right. Cost. It's always a primary consideration, isn't it?
Oh,
And yeah, rental prices for serviced apartments in Tokyo can vary quite a bit. It really depends on several things. The specific location, obviously, the size and layout of the apartment, and the level of luxury and the range of amenities offered.
can you give us some general price ranges, just a ballpark figure to get an idea?
Sure. So based on the kind of data moveandstay.com has gathered over, 25 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
you might typically see average monthly rents like this for a studio, maybe somewhere between 120,000 and 250,000.
Okay.
A one bedroom could range from say 180,000 up to 350,000 per month.
Right.
And for a two bedroom, you're probably looking at 280,000 and upwards.
Yeah.
Could easily go past 500,000 depending on, location and luxury.
Wow. Okay, so quite a spread, but that gives a good idea.
Mhm.
It's crucial to remember those are averages, though.
Absolutely. Specific places can definitely be higher or lower.
Right. Now, what about those extra fees that sometimes bite you with rentals?
Hmm.
Are there similar costs with service apartments in Tokyo? Deposits, things like that?
Yes, that's a really important point. Just like traditional rentals, there are potential additional fees to be aware of.
Okay, like what?
Well, one common one is the deposit, often called shikikin in Japanese. It's typically 1 or 2 months' rent.
And is that refundable?
Generally, yes. It's usually refundable at the end of your stay, assuming no major damages beyond normal wear and tear.
Okay, that's standard enough.
Then there's the uniquely Japanese concept of key money, or reikin.
Ah, yes, I've heard of this. What's the deal with that?
Right. This one is usually non-refundable. It's a payment to the landlord, often also 1 or 2 months' rent. It's sort of a historical custom, like a thank you gift.
Non-refundable. Okay, that's a
Yeah.
big one to budget for up front. Definitely need a heads up on that.
Absolutely.
What other potential costs should listeners factor in?
Well, if you use a real estate agent to find the place, which you might do if you're arranging it from overseas,
Mm.
you'll likely pay an agency fee, or chikai tsuruyo. That's usually around 1 month's rent. Some places might also charge a specific cleaning fee when you move out, and sometimes there might be a utilities deposit required upfront.
Is the utilities deposit refundable?
Yeah, that one's usually refundable, minus whatever you actually used in electricity, gas, water during your stay.
Got it. So quite a few potential add-ons there. What's the best way to avoid any nasty surprises with the final bill?
The absolute key is transparency. Ask for a really comprehensive, detailed breakdown of all the costs right at the start, before you sign anything.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Exactly. Ask about any fee that seems unclear or you weren't expecting. A good provider should be happy to explain everything.
Makes sense. And how do you actually pay for these places? What methods are generally accepted?
The common methods are usually credit cards, very convenient for deposits or shorter stays.
Right.
Bank transfers are also widely accepted, especially for the ongoing monthly rent.
Okay.
And, maybe sometimes cash, perhaps with smaller independent places, but definitely confirm that directly with the property management first.
And payment schedules. Rent usually due monthly upfront.
Typically, yes, rent is often due at the beginning of each month. And just a reminder, if you're paying from overseas, factor in potential currency exchange fees from your bank. Those can add up.
Good point. Okay, we touched on the kitchens earlier, but let's really dig into what fully equipped usually means. What specific things might you find?
Sure. So beyond the big stuff, the hob, microwave, fridge, you can Generally expect a good set of, kitchenware essentials.
Pots, pans.
Yeah, usually a variety of pots and pans, plates, bowls, cutlery for dining, often basic cooking utensils too. Like we mentioned, a rice cooker is very common in Japan.
Right.
Coffee maker often too. Basically, enough stuff that you can actually prepare proper meals.
Which really supports that whole home away from home idea, letting
Yeah.
you cook, save money, manage dietary needs.
Exactly. It lets you engage with local markets too, maybe pick up fresh ingredients. It's a level of like immersion you just don't get in a hotel room. But again, always good to just double check the specifics if something is really important to you.
Fair enough. And the in-unit laundry, you said that was a big plus. Why is it so valuable, especially for longer trips?
Oh, the convenience is huge, especially if you're there for more than just a few days.
Means you can pack lighter.
Totally. Avoid those excess baggage fees. Plus, you can do laundry whenever suits you, rather than relying on expensive hotel services or hunting for a laundromat.
Yeah, finding a laundromat in a new city isn't always fun.
Not at all. And as we said, most have a washing machine, maybe that combo washer-dryer. Having the English manuals is a nice touch too.
Definitely.
Maybe even that starter detergent pack. It just makes settling in so much smoother, adds a big level of independence and comfort for a longer stay.
Okay. And connectivity.
Yeah.
Internet access. What's the typical situation there?
You can pretty much always expect complimentary high-speed Wi-Fi. It's just standard now, essential for everyone. But, like any internet service, actual speed and reliability can sometimes vary. So if really fast, consistent internet is crucial for you, maybe for work video calls or streaming, it's probably a good idea to check recent reviews for the place or just ask them directly about the typical speed when you're booking.
Good tip.
Some providers also offer bilingual tech support, maybe through the front desk or a helpline, which is reassuring if you run into issues. Reliable internet just lets you hit the ground running, plan your day, stay in touch.
Absolutely. Now let's switch gears to getting around. Tokyo's transport system is, well, legendary, isn't it?
It really is exceptionally efficient, punctual, incredibly extensive. Trains and subways are definitely the backbone.
What about buses or taxis?
Buses exist, but navigating them can be a bit harder if you don't speak Japanese, the routes and signs. Taxis are easy to find, but they can get pretty expensive, especially in peak times.
So how do service departments usually connect with the train and subway network?
That's often a key selling point. A major advantage is that many are deliberately located near major train and subway stations.
Makes sense.
When you're comparing options, it's smart to check how close they are to stations, especially ones that serve multiple lines. That gives you maximum flexibility.
Right, access to different parts of the city easily.
Exactly. And some apartment buildings even offer complimentary shuttle services to nearby major stations.
Oh, that's a nice perk.
Yeah, especially helpful with luggage or just for that extra bit of convenience. It shows that providers, like the ones listed on moveandstay.com, really understand what makes a stay practical in a city like Tokyo.
Okay, that shuttle is great. Any other sort of practical tips for navigating Tokyo's public transport?
Definitely. First off, get a rechargeable travel card, a Suica or Pasmo card. Essential.
Right, you just tap and go.
Exactly. Tap at the gates, no fiddling with tickets for every journey. You can use them on buses too, and even in many convenience stores and vending machines. Super useful.
Okay, Suica or Pasma. Got it.
Also, plan your routes. Use apps like Google Maps or Japan Travel by Navitime. They give real-time train info, platform numbers, delays. Really helpful. Learning a few basic Japanese phrases helps too. Sumima. Excuse me. Arigato. Thank you. Just basic politeness is appreciated.
Good advice.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. Station staff, even other commuters, are generally very willing to point you in the right direction.
Okay. And maybe a subway pass if you're using it a lot.
Yeah, if you anticipate heavy subway use, look into a pass. It could save you some money.
Great tips. Now, beyond logistics, Tokyo has such a rich culture. What are some key cultural things someone staying in the service apartment should maybe be mindful of?
Yeah, understanding and respecting local customs definitely makes the experience smoother and richer. Generally, there's a strong emphasis on politeness, consideration for others, maintaining harmony.
Okay, like what specifically?
Well, queuing is serious business. Wait your turn patiently. Cleanliness in public is huge. Loud conversations on trains or blowing your nose publicly are kind of frowned upon.
Right, being considerate of shared spaces.
Exactly. Bowing is common for greetings, respect, thanks. You don't need to be an expert, but just being aware of its importance helps. And communication can be quite indirect sometimes. Direct confrontation is usually avoided.
Good to keep in mind. Little things that make a difference. What about dining etiquette? Anything crucial to know?
A few things, yeah. Chopstick etiquette is important. Don't stick them upright in your rice bowl. That's for funerals.
Okay, noted.
Interestingly, slurping noodles is totally acceptable. Often shows you're enjoying it.
Wow, yeah.
Before eating, say itadakimasu basically, I humbly receive. And after, gochizusama deshita, thank you for the meal. You'll often get a wet towel, an oshibori. Use that to clean your hands before eating.
Itadakimasu, gochisusame deshita.
Got it.
And what about the language barrier? How big a deal is it, and how can you navigate it?
You'll find English in tourist areas and hotels, especially with younger people, but living a few basic phrases, hello, konnichiwa, thank you, arigato, excuse me, sumimasen, goes a long, long way. Shows respect.
Locals appreciate the effort, even if it's not perfect.
Definitely. Don't hesitate to try. And translation apps on your phone are lifesavers. Or a small phrase book. Patience and politeness are key.
Okay. Now, Tokyo is made up of so many different neighborhoods, right? Each with its own vibe. How do you even start choosing the right area for your service department?
That really comes down to your priorities for the trip. What's most important? Being close to work, easy access to tourist sites, or maybe a quieter, more local feel.
Right, depends on the person.
Exactly. Each district has its own character. And again, companies like Move and Stay, with their long experience, they really understand these differences and how they suit different people.
Can you break down maybe a few key areas? Give us the pros and cons.
Sure. Let's take a few examples. For business travelers, areas like Shinjuku or Marunouchi are often top choices.
Because of the offices and transport links?
Precisely. Excellent transport, loads of businesses, lots of amenities. But the trade-off is they can be faster paced, maybe a bit noisier, and often more expensive. Shinjuku also has that famous nightlife.
Okay, what if you want something quieter, more residential?
Then you might look at neighborhoods like, say, Saragaya or Meguro. They offer a more local atmosphere, charming shops, parks.
Sounds nice. Downside?
They might be a bit further from the main tourist hub, so potentially longer travel times for sightseeing, but often better value for money, and you get more of a feel for everyday Tokyo life. Good for families, perhaps.
Right, and if tourism is the main focus.
Then areas like Asakusa or Ueno are great. You're right near temples, shrines, museums, cultural sites. Very convenient for that.
Right.
But they can get very crowded, especially during peak season, and feel quite touristy.
So it's balance. And you put together a quick comparison for us.
Yeah, just a snapshot. Shinjuku. Pros, amazing transport, tons of amenities, vibrant nightlife. Cons can be noisy and crowded.
Okay.
Setagaya. Pros, quieter, residential feel, good for families. Cons, further from main attractions. Asakusa. Pros, right near temples and cultural stuff. Cons can be crowded and very tourist-focused. So the best area really depends on you.
Makes sense. Okay, so you've done the research, picked your area, found the perfect apartment. What's the actual booking process usually like?
It's generally pretty straightforward, especially online. You'll start by checking availability for your dates, number of guests, etc. on the provider's website, or maybe a platform like moveandstay.com.
Right.
Once you find one you like, you'll provide your personal details, contact info, payment details, and often you'll need to pay a deposit to secure the booking.
Standard enough.
Yeah, platforms that have been doing this a while, like Move and Stay, they've usually refined the process to make it quite user-friendly and secure.
And what if plans change? Life happens. What are cancellation policies typically like? This feels important.
It is really important, and policies can vary quite a bit between different providers and even different rate types.
So you have to read the fine print.
Absolutely crucial. Read the cancellation policy carefully before you book. Some might offer a full refund up to a certain point. Others might have fees. Some might be totally non-refundable, especially discounted rates or long stays. Pay close attention to deadlines for free cancellation and any charges. Good practice. Take a screenshot or save a copy of the policy when you book, just in case.
Smart. Okay, fast forward, you've booked, you've flown, you arrive in Tokyo. What's the check-in process like at the service department itself?
Good question. Before you even leave home, make sure you have clear instructions from them how to get there, the specific check-in procedure.
Does it vary? Like reception desk or?
It can vary, yeah. Some have a traditional reception desk like a hotel. Others might use a key safe with a code you get in advance, or maybe even a mobile app for access.
Okay.
Always good to confirm the check-in time too, especially if you're arriving late or early.
Right.
Once you're in, just take a moment. Familiarize yourself with the apartment, where things are, and importantly, locate the emergency exits and the contact info for property management, just so you have it handy.
Good checklist. That's all super helpful for anyone considering this. Now, the source material from moveinstay.com also had some FAQs. Let's quickly run through a few common ones. Are things like gyms or pools usually included in the rent?
Generally, yes. If a service apartment building offers shared amenities like a fitness center, maybe a pool, 24-hour reception, sometimes meeting spaces, those are typically included in the overall rental price.
Okay,
If there are extra charges for specific things, that should be made clear upfront by the management.
good. What about changing or canceling a booking after you've confirmed it?
Yeah, as we touched on with cancellation policies, the exact rules for making changes depend on the specific provider's terms and conditions.
Check your booking confirmation again.
Exactly. Best bet is always to contact the property management directly as soon as you know you need a change. They'll tell you if it's possible and if any fees apply.
Okay. And just to reiterate, these places work for both short and long stays, right?
Absolutely. That's really their core strength. They're designed for that home-like comfort and flexibility, whether you need a place for...
Are credit cards pretty widely accepted?
Yes, most serviced apartments in Tokyo will accept major credit cards, especially for deposits and initial payments. Bank transfers are common too, for the monthly rent.
Worth checking.
Always worth double-checking the specific property's accepted methods before you rely on one, yeah.
Okay. And finally, emergencies. What kind of support can you expect if something goes wrong during your stay?
Many reputable places offer some form of 24-hour support for emergencies.
How, like a front desk or a phone number?
It could be through a front desk if they have one operating 24/7, or often via a dedicated emergency contact number or helpline provided by the management team. Definitely find out what that is when you check in.
Good to know there's usually a safety net. So wrapping up, it seems clear that serviced apartments in Tokyo offer a really compelling, versatile option, doesn't it? Especially if you're staying longer than a typical tourist trip.
It really does. And you can see why a resource like moveandstay.com with, over a quarter century of experience, specifically in Asia, why they've become such a go-to for business travelers and expats trying to figure out accommodation there. They understand the needs.
They offer that unique mix, don't they? Flexibility, home comforts, essential services, often in great locations.
Precisely. Easy access to everything Tokyo offers. Plus, having that kind of experienced resource can just simplify what can be a pretty complex process, finding a good place in a foreign city.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How having that blend of independence but also support, that proper home away from home setup, could genuinely change your whole experience of living and working somewhere like Tokyo.
It definitely could. It sort of prompts you to maybe explore what specific options might fit your own travel plans next time.
Yeah. And it leaves a question for you, our listener, to ponder. How might that unique combination, the flexibility, the convenience, the feeling of actually living there, how might that reshape your next extended stay in a dynamic global city?
Something to think about.
Definitely. Well, that brings another fascinating deep dive to a close. Thanks for joining us. Join us next time as we